Welcome to I'm From the Internet, a podcast about somethingawful.com, the goons, and their consequences. I am disgraced comedian Winslow Domain, sitting here with internet historian Jay Brandstetter. Jay, how you been?
I've been pretty good during the break. Fred knocked his mouse off his bed, so I had to go running and get it. You know, it's one of those, when you can't, it's really hard to get things off the floor in that situation. So I'm glad I was able to get it for him.
Yeah, it's from computers to mammals, he's just traded one mouse for another. It's a tale as old as time. All right. I didn't mention this last time, but my tarot deck is going to be in a movie. Apparently, a film. Somebody from Ireland, a production company out there, reached out to me, and I've had. This isn't the first time that like somebody said they reached out to get a what's it called? Like a permission thing to use some of my art in a movie, right? Like where somebody's wearing some of the pins that I've worn, which is that's it was for a TV show that I don't even think ever aired, but not only it's not going to be like a background prop. It's like central to the movie where they go to a tarot reader and they have a copy of my tarot deck and they have multiple versions of the tower. So they're going to turn over cards and they're going to be tower. And so that's real cool.
That's really
I don't know
cool.
what all of that is going to entail, but it's fun. It's always crazy when like it's like the thing with the production, one of the higher ups at Metal Blade Records reached out to me. He follows the pod too, and he's just like, "Hey, you want to talk shop about being in like I could help you promote your card game? I'm personal friends with Cannibal Corpse." I had no idea he was even following me, which is kind of interesting. So. Yeah, so I'm working on that, and again working on the Project Zerzat and a few other pieces here and there. If you know, hop on the Discord if you want to know more. That's the only place where I'm talking about it somewhat openly, but my inner circle knows, but I'm not too public about it. But yeah, cool. Well, where we last left off. The Horse eBooks account was posting very unusual cryptic things that were snippets from actual ebooks, as well as a few other things that one writer said that it was finding the interesting process of finding signal in noise. And now that it's been acquired by somebody else who's using it to promote some other bullshit, it has become signals disguised as noise. And so a lot of the naturally funny things are now very unnaturally funny, and there's just a way that you can just fucking tell. So there was a countdown on a different weird comedy YouTube page that counted down from 77 days, and then the final video from their pronunciation guide is for Horse eBooks, which I'm sure some people clapped their forearms together when they saw that Horse eBooks and this other stupid YouTube thing were somehow tied together, but I would not be one of them. This kind of ruined the mystery, and now it's a product to sell. So
yeah,
when
they did this announcement, they put a link to a video. I've put that video in our show chat here.
All right, it's about a minute and a half long. I'm hitting play now.
Horse eBooks.
Horse eBooks.
Horse eBooks.
eBooks. It slides over. It's a woman.
Horse eBooks. It's
She's
morning
saying
in
Horse
cyberspace,
eBooks.
and the systems are in love. A spam bot in a channel. What would the parents think? Together again. It's all just data in the net. But we're just getting started.
Okay.
There is a man named Dalton. Dalton is dangerous. He is rich, he is strong, and he is going to crash the stock market. Sidewalks crack and streets go dark.
Sorry to make you do this,
10,000 bankers shake and scream for Dalton's pyramid. Where are the regulators? That's where you come in.
I like her
I've been trying
dress.
to tell you something for 5 years. You're in the elevator. You're right on time, like a regulator should be. You are a beautiful system. This is the world we're in, and this is what is happening. What's that too?
Are those real teeth?
Everyone is singing. You are first class. You are ready. And you are the regulator who will see the shining data in the stars of Bear Stearns Bravo. Bear Stearns Bravo.
Okay. Yeah. Pass. It's fucking it's a little weird, but it's so sparse that it's not actually that interesting. It's just a woman in a very modern dress and a nice little coat, looking very much like a Brooklyn hipster going to a fancy work party. So yeah, it kind of wants it seeming like I want to say like a internet cyberpunk mystery story. The only reason I say cyberpunk is because it involves the internet, and it seems like an evil guy that's going to crash the system is more of a cyberpunk thing than any other genre. So
Very, that in anime.
Yeah. So, all of this would be less shit if Horse eBooks was this from the get-go. The fact that a nerd bought it, took it away from everyone, and then made it into his own thing is like, I'm not saying this lightly, that's colonizer mindset.
Thank you.
So,
that was in my notes at some point, but I took it out because I was worried it might be a bit much. Yeah, that's such colonizer mindset.
Yeah, it is. And like, this is specifically why I didn't make merch of the rat hole, man.
Thank you. I was going to say, the rat hole thing earlier, that's such a fun thing, because like part of the reason why like I genuinely respect you as an artist and a person is because like the way you handled that was so legitimately like cool. Like you didn't like be crash and commercialize. Like you did a good job trying to like make sure people were of the origins and like your role in it.
Yeah.
You did a good job. It's not your fault that people latched onto you so hard.
Yeah. People got real fucking mad, and like they said that I was like stealing it from the woman that I like, because I made it abundantly clear. I was there in Roscoe Village with my friend who pointed out the rat hole and said, I want to show you the rat hole. I tweeted the rat hole, and that was it, right? And then like, yeah, the newspaper wants to talk to me about it, and it's just like this silly thing where like in every interview, regardless of whether or not the journalist published what I said, in every interview, I was like, I didn't find this. My friend found this. This is her name. This is her contact information. If you want to talk to her, please go ahead. And like they some of them published that, and some of them didn't. And so like, I had people like heated at me that I was a white man colonizing the rat hole, and it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? You know, like it was frustrating. And so, yeah, to see somebody else just like, there was this kind of weird little source of joy on the internet, and then somebody else just like snipes it and uses it to sell. I don't know what the product is yet, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. Imagine if somebody destroyed the rat hole to sell their product, which is just like dumb, you know?
Yeah, it's like, well, if someone was selling like weed gummies shaped like the rat hole, and they bought the rights to it from the city, and like, oh, I discovered it. Like,
oh god, you know, it's dumb.
Yeah.
But
so,
anyways,
yeah. So the name of this project that this is all leading for is called Bear Stearns Bravo, and the actual specifics of Bear Stearns Bravo I'll get into a little bit later, because I think we really need to give it its own segment. So. Just sort of the impact of this. This got covered by actual like news sites. Like the New York Times did a thing on this. The human behind a favorite spam bot, Horse eBooks. Entertainment Weekly shows up here again. Horse eBooks and pronunciation book. We try to explain what just happened. Like this was something that needed explainers because, there was a lot of lore behind it. And a lot of people were like, why are all my friends linking to this weird horse video?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, it is one of those things that it seems like it broke containment,
Yeah. And in addition to the actual Bear Stearns Bravo project, the website had an address on it, the website that was linked to in the video and the horse ebooks thing. And somebody actually went to that address. It was the writer I found was Victoria McNally from the Mary Sue. The address led to a small rented gallery space, and I have some pictures of the gallery space there. There's a little disclaimer at the front about how you'll be filmed inside and not to talk. And they had this performance art piece set up where there's Jacob in the middle and there's his friends on the side. And they are doing a performance art piece where people can call a number that they listed. They read spam quotes from the account out loud to them. Okay,
so this is giving They Might Be Giants had a phone number that you could call.
And I've heard about that, music over the phone. I'm not even a music guy. Yeah. That's just such a cool piece of lore, for a band to have.
Yeah, it's a very cute idea. But yeah, and fucking my buddy, he doesn't do it anymore, but he had analog Twitter where for $1 a month, he would print out all of his joke ideas and he had a $75 embosser that just said Joe McAdam, and it was his information, and it said this embosser costs $75 plus $15 to ship, and that was his thing. Every single letter had one of those stamped on it, and he would just send you his joke ideas, and I still have them. Some of them are really fucking funny, but it was once a month I would get a letter in the mail that had his jokes on it, and I just thought it was just such a fucking funny idea.
That's a great bit. I love that. It's like that when you have that pin that just says your design here. It's no, I want the one that says your design here.
I have that. I have my wallet. I got a custom engraved wallet, and they had the menu of choices. And so I picked the one that says your favorite sports team logo. And I was specific. I'm like, I don't want a sports team. I want you to engrave the words your favorite sports team logo onto my wallet. And took a couple emails back and forth to explain, but that's my wallet now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you come in the gallery, there's this space where they're on phones reading as people call in. And then when you leave, there's this little sign. It says Bravo spam on it. And I have the text here. I'll read for it. It says, "We are influenced by data. On September 14th, 2011, Jacob Bakula began the conceptual art installation Horse eBooks. He has since performed in secret as a spam bot on the social network Twitter, posting a piece of spam roughly every 2 hours for 72 days. Each spam fragment is recycled information, an often incomplete snippet of text drawn from a previously published work, occasionally including a link to a website selling low-quality self-help books. The installation is available on the internet at twitter.com/horse ebooks. In the back gallery is the performance art piece Horse eBooks 2. A phone number has been shared online, inviting the world to call and receive spam messages similar to those posted in the installation. In the front gallery art, the video art piece is spam loops 1 through 4. The loops depict people waiting to be spoken to. They extend the moment of conversation between statement and response. Jacob Bakula and Thomas Bender. Executive producer Sina John, software developer Jamie Niemask. And then it links to Cinedyne.com and BearStearnsBravo.com. Cinedyne was the name of their art collective. We'll find out what happened to them at the end.
Yeah, man. I still prefer the mystery, I still prefer the natural way that trash moves through the streets and clots up against the chain link fence. I prefer that over a well-curated lawn. I think that's just more aesthetically interesting to see what nature does. You're never going to make something more interesting than the way that driftwood floats up on the beach shore. You are trying to thrust a grid onto an amorphous blob, and the result isn't that interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not art. I'd just say it's not nearly as interesting as the thing you made it out of.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm one of those people that I've got a very annoyingly broad definition of art.
Oh, me too.
And this is one of those things where it's just yeah, this is art. It's just it's Homer Simpson carving his wooden chili spoon out of a larger spoon, where you took something interesting and you paired it away into something that is still interesting, I guess, but you've added all of these extra, these affectations, and you've removed all of this interesting stuff.
Yeah, and it's you could have done this without taking over the account. You could have just made your own account that was doing this performance. They don't mention Alexei anywhere in this either. They don't mention that this was a thing. They're just this started on this date, and then they go from there.
Yeah, yep, yeah, and so that's again, it is the colonizer mindset,
And also, one thing I want to call out before we move on, because I think that one's I got to eventually, but when they talk about that piece, spam loops 1 through 4, I played the first episode of Bear Stearns Bravo. The spam loops are just the clips that play when the characters are waiting for a response. There's a little loop of them standing there waiting while you choose your picks. And you just play those in a gallery space. It was it's commentary, it's art. You'll see why this kind of feels slapdash in a little bit here.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So one of the reasons that this gallery seems kind of low rent is that it appears to have been quickly thrown together while they were stalling a journalist who had figured out their identities, which really contrasts with the image Jacob presents as this mysterious, aloof social engineer bringing whimsy to the world. I was really glad I found this write-up. I had to dig into the archive for it. Yeah. So this is from Gabby Dunn, formerly of BuzzFeed. Do not support Bear Stearns Bravo spam. Yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to say before I read it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. And these are excerpts from a longer article. It's linked in the full document. Because Jacob Bakula cried to me on the phone for months. When I found him out in July and texted him saying I knew he was behind Pronunciation Book, he called me almost immediately and begged me not to disclose that he and his partner, Tom Bender, were behind the channel. 2 weeks ago, we scheduled a meeting for him to reveal the company behind Pronunciation Book, but he kept pushing it back. Finally, he called and seemed distraught. He told me the company behind Pronunciation Book had pulled out just that morning because they weren't seeing high enough view counts on the videos. He told me he was out $40,000. He was incredibly dramatic and seemed to be going through the emotions of loss in front of a reporter. I found that suspicious, especially when he told me he hadn't even phoned Bender yet to tell him they were screwed. I didn't understand why he'd call me, a reporter he doesn't know, before his business partner, but he said he felt like I'd been so kind to him. I mostly just let him speak. He'd offer more and more information without me having to ask any questions. I expressed to a coworker how weird it was that he just kept telling his story without any prompting from me, like he was hitting assigned marks for how to talk to a reporter. I thought he was full of shit. It felt like Big Hill was putting on a play, and he wasn't a very good actor. Every time I would tell him that, he'd freak out, admonishing me for not trusting him when he was trusting me, telling me if I outed him, he'd be sued for so much money he'd have to go bankrupt. It would all be my fault. He'd cry. He'd call me heartless. He'd threaten me. He'd beg, saying he was just one guy and he couldn't go up against the army of lawyers that this media company was threatening him with. He was worried his career at BuzzFeed and in marketing was over, and he didn't know how he'd pay his rent or his bills. He was scared of 4chan's wrath or of someone really hurting him. He'd text and call me all the time with his sob story. It was all fiction, a play for no one but me and for no reason other than psychopathy.
Okay. Am I missing something? Who owned... He spent $40,000 to get horse eBooks?
This is all a lie. This whole thing about there being a brand behind Pronunciation Book, this was just something he was making up to stall this journalist. The actual thing is, like I said, it's just he bought it so he could use it and then eventually turned it to promote his thing. He was tweeting about Bear Stearns Bravo stuff on the account as early as 2012, when he took over. So this was something that was planned from the get-go. This wasn't it being a Bear Stearns Bravo thing was always there.
What the fuck? I know that we've mentioned it, but is Bear Stearns Bravo, is that a thing?
We'll find out what it is, but I can say it didn't really become a thing.
Okay, because Bear Stearns is that financial group.
Yeah, Bear Stearns, for non-American listeners, Bear Stearns was the financial group that was largely behind the big housing bubble popping in 2008 in America and causing the greater global recession. So, yeah.
Again, it's just an exceedingly thin margin of the human race is good at riffing. And, a lot of people don't even try to be funny. A lot of people do try to be funny and fail. And then a few people try to be funny and succeed. And then of that group, there are people who can be funny on their own and be funny with other people, and those are fucking golden. Those are my dearest friends, especially in the world of comedy, where you can just hang out with them, and it's just the stage melts and it wraps around you, and you're not performing, you're just with a really funny person, and the laughs keep flowing, and it's just the fucking best. And the struggle is that we have to share this world with people who are I mean, this guy is like a mini Elon Musk, where like he couldn't handle everybody else paying attention to this really fun, beautiful thing, and so like he just grabbed his fist around the butterfly that everyone was admiring because he wanted to have it too, so that he could have a piece of that cool thing. I know we're talking about a fucking Twitter account called Horse eBooks, but it's a part of a mindset that exists all over the place, where like people want to buy a feeling and they cannot, you know?
Yeah.
He wished he created it, so he bought it. But that doesn't mean that you created it. You're still the same boring fucking loser that bought the thing. You didn't
can't
make
buy
it.
Clout. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, like Elon didn't make Tesla. He didn't make Twitter. He didn't make the rocket company. You know, he didn't make any of that shit. He just bought it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, if Elon Musk couldn't make Twitter like him, why do you think you have a chance at this point? Like,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, but so Jacob keeps trying to stall her, and then finally he dumps the reveal video on a day he was supposed to meet with this reporter to do an interview, and then stops returning her calls. So he just stalls her until he gets to his thing, and then just drops her. And she concludes, she goes, then Susan Orlean in The New Yorker broke the story behind Pronunciation Book. Bakila never called me. His phone went straight to voicemail. When I called Sina John, another person involved in Pronunciation Book, and asked him to tell me what was going on, he said simply, I can tell you it's not Battlestar Galactica. Then he laughed and hung up on me. And I explained the significance of the Battlestar Galactica thing earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't get why this guy is so freaked out.
I think he was acting freaked out because he didn't want this person to go to the press and ruin his little stunt that he was doing. And then once he pulled it off successfully, he just didn't have to care what they think anymore. And then was like, psych, and then just stopped responding to their calls. So, like, yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and she concludes that the best part is they cried to me about hurting their careers and appealed to me not to get them sued or laughed at by the internet, telling me to have empathy for them, and then coldly did exactly what I protected them from to me. The cold, calculated, and cruel, with no remorse, not even a quick email to explain, / apologize, or to say, hey, this was just a fun project, sorry we had to burn you even though we have friends in common, no hard feelings. The way they regarded me and handled this gives me chills. They are not good people having fun with the game, these are psychos. And, armchair, diagnosing people as psychopaths was in the style at the time, so I'm not going to go that far with it.
I mean, I wouldn't call him a psycho, but I do think that, he's just a self-involved dickhead. Come at me, Bakula. Buy the rat hole from me. I don't care. Not even mine.
Yeah. And I was like, this went far enough. Like, she was on NPR talking about this, and the comments are really mean. A lot of it are basically just her being like, oh, this journalist. Like, just I don't have to read them out loud, but man, it's really depressing just being reminded, like, yeah, the people who are fighting the good fight back then are just got nothing but negativity for it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, nobody, journalists change your mind and challenge your views, and so these are the people who paint targets on their back. Of course, I'm not saying that like they're all noble people. There's a long history of them doing things wrong, but like the only people who like journalists are a thin margin of other journalists, and that's kind of it. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I guess the one upside of this was her going public did finally get Jacob to issue an apology in private. So I have her here. Yeah. In his apology, Bakila says he should have given me the story and provides no good reason for his and Sina John's bizarre and gleefully cruel behavior, which frankly doesn't seem to even fit the tone of their fun ARG. He complains of sleepless nights running Horse eBooks and how it altered his perception of reality and right and wrong, and blames that.
Oh, God.
He said he had to protect his art from me by any means necessary, but I was never threatening to expose him, and he knew that. He's being so dramatic that it's comical. There was, by his own admission, no reason to not hold up his end of the deal in part, or at least show me some respect back. I was also never out to hurt them. This isn't exactly Middle Eastern politics, it's a stupid ARG. Why turn it into this thing where you're fucking around with a real person you kind of know's friends, life, and job? It's so weird. In the end, it was all to promote themselves, which is lame, because a part of why she took it so personally was that's a mutual friend, so when she tried to push back against it, they had their mutual friends kind of do interference, so she's kind of like, I'm being gang-stalked in real life over this dung game. What the fuck is going on? Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Yeah, and okay, so like, how exactly did he burn her? He just like by giving the story to somebody else and lying to her about it.
Ultimately, her grief is that she was supposed to break the story, and she was cooperating with him instead of breaking it, against his wishes. And then he went with another reporter, basically to intentionally sort of spite her for hounding him about the story.
What a dork!
Yeah. Like, yeah, like I'm glad, like you mentioned, like, yeah, if this is supposed to be like a fun game, then yeah, like you can just be like, yeah, no, you figure out early. Come on, I'll show you how it's going to work. It's going to be awesome. Instead, be like, no, you can't tell them about this. The people are after me, man. Just like,
Yeah. He thinks that he's in a FMV segment of a Command and Conquer game where he's just like, Yuri's about to take my units, my credits. Yeah. This is obnoxious.
Oh, she does conclude, anyway, this is all stupid and one of those things no one will care about in 5 days unless Sandra Bullock wants to play me in the movie, which here we are 12 years later.
That's a good line. That's so funny.
Yeah, never stops being old for me, yeah. So now it's time to see the actual project. This was all ostensibly just a lead up to Bear Stearns Bravo. And I'm going to send you the trailer of 30 seconds. I think you'll get all you need to know from that.
Okay. Yeah, drop it in the chat here.
Here we go.
Yep, cyberpunk, low rent. Oh boy. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Is that who I think it is?
Some people think that the market can't think for itself.
Oh boy.
Those are the same kind of goody-goody beatniks who take their breakfast cereal with soy milk instead of boiling water.
Okay.
Exactly.
I am gonna have to hold my tongue on some feelings I have about this. You can just make your game, or is it a game? Is it a show? What is it?
Yeah, what it is a $7 FMV game that you play in your browser. The first episode is free, but you got to pay to play the second and third episodes. Third episode never came out, by the way. But yeah, and so yeah, that's what this is all. And I didn't even think about this. You're such a Command and Conquer fan. This is kind of like a personal level of hell for you because this is them like intentionally making a weird, bad FMV adventure game thing.
Yeah, it's like a. God, there was some FMV mystery game about Tex
Murphy, those old ones?
Tex Murphy, maybe? Yeah, I remember those. This is
it could have been so much fucking better. It's not just us, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's like, just make it that. Just do that. Just make your game, put it out on Steam, whatever the fuck, and then just have that be the thing that you've made. I don't know why you needed to like go to this really cool thing that everybody liked, take it away from everybody, and make it into an advertisement. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. That's why it's stuck for me so long.
Yeah, like. It's so dumb. And I want to stress, like, I'm sure that there's some people listening to this going like, is that not what you did with the rat hole? And it's like, no, the rat hole was never a fucking ad. Other people made it into an ad. I raised money for the women's shelter with like a model of the rat hole, but like
after that was always, that genie was out of the bottle by then. Yeah.
Right. And like the when it came to like removing the rat hole, that was something that the neighborhood decided amongst themselves, voted on, and then had months and months and months of time to prevent from happening. And like by the time it was removed, no one was going to the rat hole. It was dead silent. It was just a regular sidewalk. And then it was removed, and then everybody got really fucking mad at a decision that I didn't make, that I had nothing to do with, and like it's so yeah, it's completely fucking different because I at no point in time was I like holding up products next to the fucking rat hole. Like it's obnoxious, So, this could have been a lot cooler if it wasn't what it was.
Yeah, and the plot summary that they give is it's a farcical recontextualizing of the 2007-2008 world recession. And it stars Jacob Bekela as the villain, Jackie Dalton. So there he is there in like old age makeup with a spray tan as this sort of executive type who wears a stock ticker over his face like a cool anime visor.
Yeah, he's the guy screaming about boiling water. So I mean, this is an idea that got out of hand, isn't it?
It looks like it was fun to make. I'll give them that. Like this is all like literally like their friends getting together to make this. So your comment about the Bay Area about the hipsters, they kind of made me chuckle because there's literally like his friends in this art collective.
Yeah. So it is trying to go so far that it becomes like a really schlocky satire, but they don't have the budget to make it like that, nor do they have like the time to make it fully lived in, and so. Everything is kind of shallow. Like this is like a local theater production. It doesn't go far enough to make it terribly interesting.
I totally agree. I actually played through episode 1, so I'm going to get to kind of go through that after this. But I have the text here. It says, the first impact of Bear Stearns Bravo is free. The second impact costs $7 to access and also unlocks full text message boards and personalized interactive modules and news, sports, stock quotes, ... romance, ? Yeah, so that also the names first impacted second, but there was a lot of anime in this. Like some scenes are just straight up lifted from Evangelion. Like this has a lot of like, hey, anime's weird vibes to it and how they present things.
Yeah, telling by the quality and the media being the message or the medium being the message of everything else they've done here. I don't trust that all of the other stuff that they're offering, full text message boards. What does that even fucking mean? There's no such thing as a partial text message board. And then news stock, like all of that is just fluff. And I don't think it's, if it's promising to be something that is exceedingly deeper than it could ever possibly be,
And also, like right off the bat, they kind of messed this up because it only worked on desktop computers because they made it in Flash. And remember, their audience is from Twitter, which is largely a mobile-based social media platform. Like I even found a screen cap of the old site. Bear Stearns Bravo does not function on this device. Please use a computer.
Oh boy, yeah, God, that's funny. And talk about like categorically misunderstanding your audience.
Very much, yeah. Also, the weirdest thing I learned researching this, that apparently Drill got a paycheck out of this. Like, I can't find very much about it. One of the things they talk about him working on this, you really cannot tell. Like, I'm hoping this is just like something he got paid for.
Yeah. There's a couple of the quotes that they were using that I'm like, this reads like a Drill tweet. But every comedian on the internet has at least once attempted to cop his style, and it's really hard to get right. So yeah.
And also for me personally, like I like FMV adventure games. Like I grew up when that was popular as an adult. I kind of rediscovered like one of my favorite games is Harvester. So I was very much in the audience, weirdly enough, for like an FMV game. This one just does not really deliver. Like my mean little one-liner I have here is that Bear Stearns Bravo is to FMV games what Space Cop is to B movies. It has none of the sincerity or scrappiness that made those old FMV games so interesting. Because this is like very polished in weird ways. Like it's a bunch of like it's an art collective trying to do like a funky low budget FMV game, but like they have like very good clean green screening. Everything looks really nice. Like it just doesn't nail what it's aiming for.
Yeah, like I mean, part of what I'm doing for my current game is like. The camera that I'm using is like I'm using an old camera that has been modified to be full spectrum so I can do infrared and UV, but I also bought like these old piece of shit lenses from old security cameras, and so like the video is being processed through these really restrictive lenses, and that's what makes it cool, and so like when you go too far to make something look clean and modern, because it's harder to make something through the original methods, right?
Yeah, that's why we only got 6 episodes of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. It was so expensive to make it look that cheap and shitty.
Yeah, and like it's if for the text on the cards, I'm not promising this yet, but I was thinking of making using an actual typewriter, which would be a huge pain in the ass, but it would make the process so much more interesting than just using a font. You know,
although I am friends with a font guy now, so if you ever need font help,
I know.
Fred likes your stuff. So
I was going to reach out to you about that. I have some questions, but we'll get into that when we get into it.
Yeah, I've been learning a little bit about the language stuff from that, because like Fred would be talking about IPAs, and I'm like, you don't drink, and he's like, no, I meant like the international punctuation assemblage or whatever. He's talking about some language thing. I'm like,
That's funny.
Okay, yeah,
that's funny. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. And so I did play this. The first impact is about 45 minutes long. So like this is pretty substantial for what it is. Like there's multiple scenes, characters, overarching plots, running gags. It's just not super like good. Like it's not a death march. There are a couple bits in it that work, but like it doesn't really have anything at the core. Like the basic premise where it's supposed to be like satirizing the economic collapse. It basically just does an anime parody, except it like replaces power level with mortgage. It's all about like, oh, the bad guy's been collecting all the mortgages. Now he controls the free trade zone and he makes the rules. Like,
right.
It's that type of thing. Like, it's not really saying anything about the recession or mortgages. Aside from like, there's one bit where there's an okay joke where these guys are trading bonds. It turns out they've just been trading the same one back and forth in a tube. And I'm like, okay, that was a good bit. I'll give him that. But even then, just yeah. And
I mean, man, the thing is just like, this is the reason why I don't like B movies and I don't like schlocky stuff. Other people love camp, and it doesn't do anything for me because it's just like, it's the hard thing to do is to make something that is like subtle and nuanced. And like, I'm gonna just say openly, anybody can cover themselves in slime and roll around and make a movie that's called like Slime Bastard 2. Like it's not like, I get that it's part of a whole aesthetic. I just think that it sucks and is boring. And so when you look at stuff like this, it's like everything is really exaggerated and really intense because it's easier to scream than to whisper when you're doing stuff like this. It's not that interesting, and it's kind of
It kind of struggles to come up with bits like this part. This screenshot here, there's a part where they literally just stop what they're doing and wheel a TV in so they can play a sketch about workplace sexual harassment videos. Like,
that's been done a trillion times.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's part. It's supposed to be satirizing corporate culture, but it doesn't really have. I feel like none of these people have actually worked in like an office before, so it's kind of like it has that vibe.
Yeah,
to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And just like the text here, like, Jackie Dalton, you are charged with first-degree money side, super fraud, and possession of subprime mortgages with intent to distribute. Like, this is like the Zyborn Clock parodies, except it's not really parodying anything.
Yeah. Man. These
are the ones that are straight out of Evangelion. Like, the judge lady on her pillar with the colored background before her, and, like, the meters rising. It says, crisis, ultimate mortgage, threshold reached or something like.
Right. To me, it's just like I think I've used this word too many times in this pod, but there's like a milieu of comedy where you just kind of write things in a jaunty way, but you don't put jokes in there. And like a lot of people learn how to write with the patter of comedy, but not put jokes in there, because a joke is something that you can go like, this is why this piece is funny. And just writing things in kind of like a silly, irreverent way is just like, it's flavorless. There's no substance. There's no nutrient. There's no anything to it. And so you get things where it's just like, we have like a hyper exaggerated, like legal financial crime thing. And so like, you're guilty of money side, which is like, if you really committed to the bit, you could have made that real funny, but you didn't. And so now it's just, you're just aping other styles without the commitment that made those styles interesting.
Really. And just to add insult to injury, when you finish episode 1, it has like a credits montage of all the characters. Look what they've done to my boy. There's the horse from Horse eBooks surfing in the end credits. So like,
this is what we destroyed to make the thing that you like. The thing that you don't
killed
even
this
like.
Horse to make this.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that. And this was like when you finish, you like one of those looped videos, the spam loops, where it's just the guy looking at you and you can choose to do the next one. Yeah. I'm not going to play the second Impact. It doesn't cost money anymore, but you still have to give him an email address, and I'm not going to do that. But I did find some screenshots from that part, so you can kind of see, like, like one of the bits is literally just like he's wearing an ascot, and the text says "ascot," and he's gesturing at it. Like, okay, fun to make, I'm sure.
I'm sure this is like all improv shows. It looks like you're having fun up there.
Yeah. And so predictably, there was very little crossover appeal with Horse eBooks' audience. Also, I think at this point it's worth mentioning that Jacob has become a commercial director and has done ads for Coca-Cola, MasterCard, and Google. So this anti-corporate posturing feels very cynical on top of the fact that it didn't really say anything. Like, yeah, his campaign for MasterCard won multiple awards, the MasterCard Inclusive by Design campaign.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Making fun of Bear Stearns and the mortgage crisis, and then immediately working for the other facilitators of all of the other crises that have yet to strike us yet.
Well, it's MasterCard. They're the good credit card company. See, they care about your security. So at MasterCard...
yeah, God. Just... I mean, the world is choked with people who work for the man and also think that they're punk rock. There's so many people who, like, they get a paycheck from ExxonMobil, and they're like, but I'm actually very, I personally would consider eventually purchasing an electric car if it were available to me. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're so punk rock.
I'm changing Northrop Grumman from the inside.
Yeah, you're the one guy working on the Death Star who's actually totally morally innocent, because sometimes I turn to my work not on time. And so that's how I'm slowing down the inevitable production of this Death Star. It's like, or you could not work for MasterCard. Yeah.
And I think just to really drive home what a thud this reveal was, Horse eBooks has over 120,000 followers on Twitter. Pronunciation Book has over 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. Bear Stearns Bravo has 323 subscribers on YouTube, and they linked to that trailer in the announcement video. So this is a guy who works in marketing, and this is how good his big passion project promotion landed.
Good work, boys. Nice. You landed it.
45K views 12 years ago. I have YouTube videos with more views than him. Wow. Than that one.
That's rough. Man. God. And it's just like, dog, if he just produced an 11-minute short and tried to sell it to Adult Swim, that's one thing. Because that's what I thought this was. I thought this was going to lead into like a failed Adult Swim show, because that's what it looks like.
And like if it had just been a creative thing on its own, I wouldn't be nearly this mean on it. Because it's like, yeah, you're having fun, but it's like, no, there are stakes now. You are playing with live ammo. You killed something.
Yeah, and again, like I would just look at this as just another thing that doesn't do anything for me. Like I don't go out of my way to be like to point out art that I don't think is cool. Like the only reason that this is in our crosshairs is because there was this big funny thing, and then this guy took it away from everybody and then fucked over a journalist who was, he had mutual friends between them, just to produce this, this schlock. It just seems really dumb. Yeah, put a billboard behind Old Faithful, so every photo somebody takes of Old Faithful also tells you about Mountain Dew.
Yeah, and I guess to sort of just explore the fallout of this, I have a quote from Griffin McElroy when he was writing at Polygon. It says, "Little attention from the followers of Horse eBooks and Pronunciation Book has been paid to the game, however, as many fans of both are upset about the reveal and its repercussions for the accounts. Both are in the process of sunsetting. Speaking to the New Yorker, Bacala said no one wants to work on a painting forever, later adding, when it's done, it's done. We're ready for the experience of whatever this next piece is." So the last Horse eBooks post was the one announcing the Bear Stearns Bravo connection. It has since been dormant.
Well, I'm glad that he was able to scratch his name onto the stones of the Great Pyramid, so that we can all know who this guy is, rather than have the cool thing to ourselves. Yeah,
it's like a Greyhound. You just use it for all the money you can get, and then you shoot it.
Exactly.
Then you need another one.
Yeah.
Although on that note, Bear Stearns Bravo was the last thing Jacob's Art Collective ever made. So I feel like this is kind of whatever the next piece is turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, that's funny.
Although I will say he did make This Is My Milwaukee back in 2008, which had some fans. So and that was all on its own. So yeah, he's capable of doing stuff on his own without these type of hijinks.
Yeah. Again, it's just like, if you didn't cut down the tree, we wouldn't be complaining about what you did with the wood,
Yeah. And also they did originally announce 3 episodes of Bear Stearns Bravo. They launched with the 2, and the 3rd hasn't even been mentioned since 2014. So yeah, like this nothing.
You think they're going to do a reboot? You think they're going to, when the AI bubble pops, they'll just bring it back and call it like NVIDIA Bravo?
They're going to do a commentary on how AI stuff sucks.
Yeah, but they're going to use AI ironically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And I did find there are people who are fine with this change. I didn't want to short shrift them. So I have a quote from a writer, Will Oremus. They wrote an article. So what if Horse eBooks was human? It was brilliant. And they say here, to be angry at Bacala and Bender for taking over Horse eBooks is to wish it had remained automated, obscure, and only sporadically delightful. A novelty rather than a phenomenon. Sure, it was sort of amusing in the early days, but its tweets were rarely so perfectly pointed as to inhabit the uncanny valley that its human authors would later plumb. Bacala and Bender didn't steal the mystery from Horse eBooks. It was their tweets that built the mystery in the first place.
No, categorically no. Absolutely not. No.
As demonstrated on this show.
Absolutely fucking not. No, it is just like, well, I mean, a well-rounded diet that has like some things that aren't super fun to eat and also some things that are really sweet and fun to eat and delightful is actually inferior to my diet of eating cake all the time. This is dumb. No, bad idea, bad take. Take it away from me.
Yeah, exactly. It's better for it to remain obscure and sporadic than become an ad and then die. Like if he hadn't taken over, Horse eBooks might still be kicking years later and making these funny little quotes people love instead of just sitting as an ad to it. Although the browser game still works. That when Flash got retired, they did care enough to update it. So now the videos are hosted on YouTube.
Yeah, it's very very funny to be like, it's actually better to lie to me about something than it is to tell me the truth about the thing, because the truth, the truth, the lie is actually more true than the truth if you think about it. No, it isn't. Shut up. You're wrong. Get out of here. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. And so I know it's been 2 hours since I brought it up. I'm going to tie this all back to the Old Man of the Mountain. So the Old Man of the Mountain collapsed in 2003. It's gone now. It's a part of history is that things end. And Horse eBooks did eventually end under Jacob's stewardship. So he didn't postpone the inevitable. He just corrupted it. The Old Man of the Mountain is always going to have been the Old Man of the Mountain. Horse eBooks is now ultimately going to be remembered as some BuzzFeed guy's ARG rather than what it actually was. And that sucks as someone who is interested in internet history.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a difference between the Old Man in the Mountain just deteriorating until it falls away and it being dynamited to sell me, remember to drink your fucking Ovaltine,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have this last bit here, so if you have any sort of closing thoughts on the Man in the Mountain, on Horse eBooks, now's the time for it.
I don't have anything. I just think that Bacala, your days are numbered. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm very glad that we've on the same vibe on this. Yeah. So
for
I know
sure.
It's here. I go, my feelings on this are really complicated. So I want to use a story adjacent to the Old Man of the Mountain to try and explain it. So the Old Man of the Mountain was known by the Abenaki as Stoneface long before the colonial era. It's not even the only one in New Hampshire. Mount Pemigewasset also has, as it's called, Indian Head, which is still standing. Even if America didn't physically transform the Old Man of the Mountain into an advertisement, it's functionally acted as an ad for our stewardship of these natural wonders. Look at this neat thing we found that nobody was using. Isn't it cool what we've done with this? Like the actual sign from the Indian Head rock profiles, it says here, the full text of it, formed by glacial action thousands of years ago, fully exposed in a forest fire in the early 1900s. The profile, once used by Chief Pemigewasset as an outlook, now stands as a monument to his reign over the valley. Like that is how the actual history of this area is presented now. And
okay, but then this next sentence kind of recontextualizes all of that.
Yeah, and Chief Pemigewasset is a figure of legend, not an actual person. Pemigewasset means fast-moving. It's the name of a river near the mountain. And there's all this indigenous mythology and lore about the face in that mountain that has built up over countless generations. I've condensed it here. The story basically is that Chief Pemigewasset dies waiting for his beloved to return and is buried on the cliffside, and his face is on the mountain watching for the return of his beloved, showing that people in the land are one and their destinies are forever intertwined. It's beautiful. It tells you a lot about the people who made it and the time and place it's from. It's all flattened to some guy before us used to stand on this thing but didn't really appreciate it. He was just there because it was tall. Like the official description is, they were just using it as a lookout. Like, and they're like, no, they knew there was a face there. They could see things.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the whole thing of like, no, the ancient Romans did not literally believe that Mount Olympus is where the gods lived. They weren't fucking stupid. It was just a long time ago. They had machines. They weren't like banging rocks together.
They invented the concept of fiction. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I bring that because, it's the closest comparison I could think of to how all these old news articles full of glowing praise about the genius of Jacob Backela feel to me. It's like, the people in the land are intertwined, and the internet is its users. There is a history and a story here, and it all gets flattened to look at this funny thing this guy made in the name of selling something that very few people wanted. It's just so frustrating to me.
But that is also part of the history of people on the internet, and so like
that is absolutely true. That is part of why I wanted to document it, because it's like I can't go back in time and stop something that's from happening, but we can at least look at how it happened and explore the circumstance of it and be like, hey, if you're ever in a situation like this, maybe think twice. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just, like we've already covered these points. Yeah, Horse and eBooks was something that was already good and interesting and found an audience all on its own. It didn't need any help or to become any greater. Like, you already covered this when you were talking about the colonial mindset about this. Like,
right, exactly.
My closing note here is that, like, we're probably never going to get another Horse eBooks because AI has reached the point that this specific type of stilted, nonsensical, machine-harvested text isn't really a thing anymore. When I was writing this episode, I got an ebook spam ad on Blue Sky from an account, and it's just ebook rumors linking to a website. There's no funny text or anything. It's just like a dry website offering free ebook titles description.
Free ebooks is just so funny because it's just like, I mean, it's like having a big billboard that just says free lint. Come over here and get bits of lint, and it's like, an ebook free on the internet,
delivered to your mail.
Yeah, like a free JPEG. Whoa, honey, pull over. I have to look at this website and get a free JPEG. It's like, oh boy. What has actual value on the internet anymore? Like, there used to be a market for making ringtones, and now it's just like it's you can do whatever you want. And so there's no market for that shit anymore. And so it's the same thing with, like, I mean, all shit on the internet. I can't think of anything that's like, oh boy, I got this thing for free, because there's almost, because of the way that PCs work, you can almost always get everything for free. If you know enough about what you're doing. So, yeah.
And that is one of the things I'm looking forward to exploring in the Home of the Underdogs episode, is what it was like in the times before you could freely get most stuff on the internet, when media was much rarer and more precious.
The gold rush doesn't mean anything if you're in El Dorado. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like, that sounds like a really good thing, but like also it means that like people no longer hunger for the hidden things. And so that's why I so often talk to somebody who is 10 years younger than me, 15 years younger than me, and they don't know the first thing about torrenting. They don't know the first thing about how to find media online that isn't available to stream. It's just like, the lust for the hunt is gone. And it's harder now. It's different now. A lot of the sites are gone, but like you're no longer pushing for it. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can still find those pirate sites on Google with a little finagling. Like, you don't even have to know that much technical stuff to find places to watch it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well,
yeah. So that's why I wanted to open with the story, I guess. I've been thinking a lot about how I'm going to transition the focus of the show from the Something Awful forums to the greater internet. And Jacob has been a very useful guide in how not to do that. So hopefully this new version of I'm from the Internet isn't going to be as rough of a transition as the one from Horse eBooks to Bear Stearns Bravo.
Yeah. We'll have to just rewrite the intro. I think that's all we got. We'll just have to figure out a new way to say it, and I'll write it down so I can get it right. But that's what we have for you. We, as we mentioned last time, have a Patreon where for $1 a month, you get a bunch of different episodes. We have many, many, many episodes locked away for you. They're full researched pieces. It's not just bullshit. it's full stories that we would cover here. They're just not necessarily something awful things.
Yeah. And even when we have ones where that are kind of chatty, we still at least try to have something to talk about. Like a couple weeks ago, I had Fred on again, and he was telling me about these weird preachers he knows about because he had like horrible foster parents in his life. So he's been following the people they used to follow and updating me on their drama. And we kind of talk about this slap fight these two preachers are having. It's very funny.
Yeah, I'm eager to listen to that one. So we have all that there. And as always, you can find us at iftipod@gmail.com. We are looking for listener responses or, any kind of feedback on anything. You can ask us questions. We're going to do like a little mailbag episode. So if you have any questions for us, let us know. We're also looking for any kind of user experiences with any of these future episodes that we'll be doing. That includes, horse eBooks, of course, we'll cover. And Home of the Underdogs, Eric Conveys an Emotion, The Crackhead Clubhouse presents Kratom, and Mark Mitsubishi, which I don't know almost anything. I know Eric. I don't know any of the other stuff.
Yeah, Mark Mitsubishi is actually the first one that someone in my Discord submitted to me. So this was pretty new to me. So that's the reasons I'm excited to talk about. 'Cause it's like, now people just send me fun stuff I get to read. This rules.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a lot of stuff lined up. If you want to support me, I'm Winslow Domain on winslowdomain.com, Winslow Domain on Twitter, and I'm Calculations on Instagram. You can still get copies of my game, and that's called The Restless. It is available for pre-order now, and you can find out more about the next game that I'm working on, tentatively called Project Zersetzung, and I'll be talking about that on my Discord. The link to which is in any of my bios on anything you find me anywhere. And Jay, you're Jay Brandstetter basically everywhere, correct?
Yep, same plugs as usual. No real updates on there.
Word. All right, man. Well, that's kind of it for us. We love you so much, and I don't know if we have any close. Do you have any other little games or something that you've been playing lately, or?
I guess one thing I will give out to the RoboCop game is the plot is about automation. Like I wasn't expecting that. The plot is about like OCP trying to replace the Detroit police with drones. Like I was like, wow, they're still doing. They nailed the social commentary in a way I wasn't expecting. That was fun. So yeah, if you like RoboCop, cool. Good plot, and they even get the likenesses. They get all the actors are back for it. They're still alive. Good time.
Yeah, I played Buckshot Roulette, which is a like $2 game that you can beat in like 5 minutes, but it's still just a very fun, interesting little game. I'd recommend it. It's very simple, very straightforward, but you're playing roulette with a shotgun. It's very silly.
Yeah, there's like this fun little cottage industry of like horror Balatro-like. It's like someone just did like a Saw slot machine game where it's like a slot game, but there's like slot traps and stuff.
Yeah.
I always see those trending on Steam when I log in.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there with like take a very simple game and then really elaborate on it. I like that stuff. So, we got that. And then, just dicking around on Silent Hill F. Don't like it very much, but that's what we have. Shoot us a review, subscribe, the whole shebang. You know how it goes. We love you so much. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week.
I'll see you next week.
I'm From the Internet is created by Jay Brandstetter and Winslow Domain. Edited by Steve Brown. Music by Steve Is Broke. That's the link to horse eBooks.